So over the last couple of months, my school went completely online because we weren't able to teach in person in Taiwan because of what's been happening. And I've learned some real skills of how to teach online using Zoom. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips that I've picked up over the last couple of months. So let's jump into it. So number 1, and this is a really useful one. One of the biggest issues you're going to have using video conferencing software to teach English is you're all stuck in this one big virtual room, and it's not very easy for students to be talking to each other. Normally it turns out to be a bit of a lecture with you as a teacher talking and them listening. But one of the great things that you can use in Zoom, and it's absolutely free, you only have to turn this function on, it's called break rooms. Now, students might get very excited when you say break rooms because they think, well, we're having a break. But no, what you can do is actually use these rooms as areas for pair work or group work. So to enable break rooms, even on a free Zoom account, all you have to do is go to your settings, find break rooms and just turn it on. In the classroom, all you're going to do is to set up your activity, explain exactly what you're going to do your concept questions and all that kind of thing. And then you open up these rooms, you send your students there and they can do whatever you want them to. And the great thing is Zoom even helps you to automatically select which students go into which break room. You can also do this manually, but I quite like to use this random function to mix it up a little bit. Another great function is the poll function. So what you can do is set up a poll and you can actually see what your students individually think. So I kind of exclusively teach the IELTS at the moment. So one of the questions that is really great for polls is something like true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given. Normally what I do in class is I get the students to raise their hand or even to hold up a T or an F or NG, depending on what the question is. But if, like my students, they don't like to turn their cameras on, using a poll is a great way to see across your class who is getting the right answer and who's getting the wrong answer and exactly where it is. Because sometimes if you individually ask a student, if someone's got it wrong, they're not going to speak up. So with a poll, all you have to do is put in the question, put in the options, and people can choose what they think the right answer is. It's a really cool way to check exactly if everyone understands what you're talking about. So another thing I love to do in the classroom to check exactly where my students are and how much knowledge they have on a particular topic is to get them to work on the whiteboard. This is kind of cool actually, because if you work in a country like I do in Taiwan, where the students don't really get to interact that much at school, they're normally just sitting down and listening. If you walk over to them and give them all a board pen and go to the whiteboard and actually start writing stuff, they find this quite exciting. Now, how can you do that online? Well, the simple way to do that is to use a Google Doc, to share that Google Doc with your classroom and to give them editor rights. So you can have a blank document and you can set it up so everybody is able to go in and write down vocabulary or to fill in answers, whatever you want it to be. So it's a really great way to set up an activity, to sit back and to see exactly what your students know and what they don't know, and then you can fill in the blanks. Another great tip I want to share is really useful for listening, and this works great for Zoom. I actually did discover this method when I was giving free mock speaking tests live on YouTube. And if you're interested in finding out exactly how that went, you can click on this video, which will take you to my other YouTube channel where you can listen to us doing mock speaking tests. But the method is using a presentation software, something like PowerPoint or the built-in presentation software in Zoom, and actually embedding an audio file in the presentation while also showing text. Now, I like to use this for listening questions because you can have the questions shared on the screen and you can also play the listening track at the same time. Now, I've not found another way to share my screen and to share an audio file in Zoom. You can do one or the other as far as I know. If you know differently, please do leave me a comment because I'd love to know how to do that. And another really cool thing that I've really enjoyed about using Zoom to teach online is that when you share your screen, particularly if you're sharing a PDF, you can actually highlight certain parts of a text. So I like to use this in particular for reading, because what you can do is when you're setting up the questions, you can highlight the keywords that the students should be scanning for. And later on, you can actually highlight the passages in the text. Now, this can work with many different types of software, but if you really want to spend the time, you can copy a text into something like a Google Doc, and then it's really, really simple to just highlight the background of that text, or even to change the color of the font, and you can clearly show to the student where the answer is found, and if they've got it wrong, why exactly it's wrong. So if you're new to teaching online and you think it's going to be a good fit, why not check out this video where I talk about all of the benefits of teaching online, and also how you can make a lot more money than if you work for a school or an online platform, and also how to find your own students. So check that out. So if you've been watching this video as part of your research and you're not actually a teacher yet, then why not check out the link below where I talk about how to become a teacher. So I'm going to give you a cheat sheet which talks about my recommended training courses, both online and in person, which will enable you to do exactly what I did, which is to travel around the world teaching English and getting every single job I've ever applied for. Who else can say that? If you've enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget, give me a like, because it will help more teachers like you. And if you want to see more videos like this, then feel free to subscribe. See you later.